Hey, welcome to the channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. I'm the Urban Seer, and in today's reading we ask the question, will they reach out soon? So you may be in a no contact situation with your person, you may be feeling their distance or have noticed a shift in their energy. Perhaps they've pulled away without an explanation and you've been left wondering if they will take the next step to reconnect. And we ask the questions, are they thinking about you? Are they hesitating? And is communication coming through soon? As usual, this is a pick a card reading and I've chosen 3 oracle cards for you to choose from. So group number 1, we have the oracle card Kairos, which to me talks about looking into the subconscious. When I see this, it's like the all-seeing eye. It looks animalistic in how it is, and it also has a mythic energy, kind of like a high priestess when we are pushed and asked to tap into our subconscious and go deeper. But yes, I keep hearing the all-seeing eye when I see this image. Group number 2, we have the seed. So the seed has been planted, can talk about new beginnings. This seed needs to be watered, this seed needs to be nurtured, or it could be the seed of doubt. Take what resonates here, or all of the above, yeah. And then group number 3, we have the card the fault line. And this is a crack in the foundation. So this could be this no contact situation that you find yourself in, could have stemmed from a crack in the foundation of your relationship. Are we able to rebuild this? What comes next? Again, take what resonates to you most. Use your intuition, take a deep breath, think of your person, and then select the card that calls to you most, and you will find the link to your reading in the description box below. For anyone interested in any of the decks that I use throughout these readings, you can also find that in the description box below. But let's dive in. Hey group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the oracle card Kairos, which has a really powerful mythical energy to me. Like I mentioned about the all-seeing eye energy. I have shuffled and pulled your tarot cards, and I've also brought in some love oracle cards here just to add an extra layer and bring in some more information. But let's kick off with placement number 1 of the tarot cards, which is looking at the current energy of the connection. So this card represents the present, and also any lingering energies affecting communication specifically. So what's led you to this point of silence, of no contact, of distance? Okay, we have the Queen of Voices. Now the Queen of Voices, interestingly, is about voices, or as it would suggest, is all about communication, speaking your truth. In its positive sense, it is the Queen of Voices is ultimately committed to her truth above all else. So they don't shy away from saying what's on their mind, cutting straight to the heart of the issue. Sometimes, so its shadow side of the Queen of Voices is that it's a ruthless energy, okay? So harsh words could have been said. Voices in the traditional deck is swords, okay? So there's a sharp edge to this energy. There's a sharp edge to this connection that you are feeling, okay, now. And maybe that there is someone literally has wounded each other with words that have been said that then brought this to the point where you're at now, in this silence, in this impasse almost, it feels like, as well. So take what resonates. This could be you, this could be them, it can even be both sides. That there's each that someone or both of you is holding their boundary very strongly. But what's coming through to me is some harsh words have been said, and maybe they weren't even particularly from a malicious place. It was almost trying to get clarity, because the Queen of Voices, like I say, is committed to truth. She's always trying to get clarity, understanding. She's ruled by air, so it's that logical, strategic, mind over matter kind of energy, yeah, that is that drives her. But it can overstep the mark, and it can be ruthless. The knife can cut ties, yeah. Let's see what the Oracle card says in alignment with this. Love Oracle card, I'm interested. The current energy, maturity. So maybe we're also moving into a place more of maturity, in the sense maybe of how around communication. Can you see how I'm interested here? This person is writing a letter, so you could, the communication that could break this impasse, this silence, it could be easier to write down, so that may come through. You may feel compelled to contact this way, in a letter, in a text, or them to you. This may be ushered in. And what I'm feeling with this maturity energy is that there is, in this silence, in this distance that you're experiencing, there is some understanding about it's okay to communicate your truth. That's always a good thing, yeah. But it can be softened, it can be presented in a nicer way. And some lessons have been learned about feeling the harsh side of the sword, yeah. Let's move on to the second placement, group number 1, which is, just get these in frame. Second placement is their intentions towards you. So what comes next, okay? This card will reveal their thoughts and feelings about reaching out, and whether they are considering it. Oh, how interesting. The Muse of Voices. So in the traditional deck, this is the King of Swords. So we have the Queen of Voices and the King of Voices here, or in this deck, the Muse of Voices. So I can't help, I always, when I see a king and a queen in the same reading, this to me talks about coming back together, that this being a soulmate connection, a twin flame energy. But there could be a block, in the sense that both of you are being too stubborn. Both of you are being too holding the line. So it begs the question, who will crack first? Because the Muse of Voices is the only person really who is going to match the Queen of Voices in this standoff battle, and have the same ideas about being committed to, in many ways, their point of view. However, we do have this Love Oracle card with this letter, and this, which to me talks about communication coming through ultimately. But this is something to be aware of for you, okay? You may be very similar in character, you and your person, and this is part of, this is a good thing, but it's also can be not a bad thing, but it can be cause issues and cause struggle, yeah? Because it can be quite triggering when someone is so similar to you. And if some of you, if both of you, lack flexibility, and are really doubling down on this, then that's what's created this impasse. Let's see what the Love Oracle card says about this. So their intentions towards you, they're feeling very similar to you, is what I feel. Okay, lovely. So we have the beautiful commitment card come through. So this is their intention towards you ultimately. You are the queen to their king to their queen, however you want to put it. Obviously it's genderless, they're king to king, queen to queen. But the card of commitment, yeah, is has come through to say that ultimately this is their goal, this is their thoughts, this is their feelings about reaching out. They are committed to you. Two beautiful swans who mate for life. This is long term. this has a very dreamy, magical feel about it. And that's pretty self-explanatory. And this is why I love these oracle cards. They just kind of shoot from the hip and just go bring in just one clear message through. Brings a lot of clarity to every reading. So there we have the commitment energy. Let's move on to the future though. So this is likely outcome in the near future. So this will provide us insight in whether they will take action soon and what you can expect next. I mean, these two are very positive. The maturity with the letter right now and the commitment, but let's look deeper into this and get the clarification. Let's see what the Tower is. Major Arcana, strength. So they will find the courage, they will find the strength. I think it might be, if they are this kind of King of Voices energy, which I'm seeing, and you are both stubborn, it will kind of take courage and strength to swallow their pride, move past this, close this gap of no contact, okay? But they will find the strength, and with this big lion here, they will find the courage. There is another sign here of, just makes me think about longevity, and is the sign of infinity. So this again speaks to me about this connection being long term, and it being a deep connection, okay? But yes, I do see them in the future finding the courage, finding the strength to move forward in this connection and communicate. Let's see finally what the Love Oracle card. Awesome. So we have creativity. This really reminds me of the Ten of Cups from the Tarot. Here we are energetically back together. Looking out on, there's quite a few there's a lot of images going on here. This almost looks like the Wheel of Fortune. So a change in fate. A transition as well, I think. So I think the energy will get easier between you after what has been a struggle, a very like that impasse that I've felt. And this strength card really feels like kind of overcoming, jumping over a hurdle in a way, getting over a hump is what I'm seeing, which will be a bit awkward, feel a bit clunky. It's not what you naturally both do as kind of swords energy. You would normally maybe cut someone off, walk away, but not this time. This time we are reconnecting, reuniting. A doorway, which symbolizes a gateway into, again, a kind of transition into a new era for you both. Really vibrant card. Like I say, talks about Ten of Cups, echoes sort of Ten of Cups energy to me, which is about emotional fulfillment. So entering really a happier era and maybe getting on the same page after what has been a tricky time and a difficult time. But yeah, there is deep feelings here, and feelings of longevity and commitment for sure. So, group number 1, I hope this reading resonated with you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up, leave any comments down below, and if you haven't subscribed already, please do, so you'll be notified of all future uploads. But wishing you all the best with you and your person. Love and light. Hey group number 2, welcome to your reading. So you chose the Oracle card, the Seed, which we touched on in the intro about how the many meanings that it could mean to you. The seed of truth, the seed of doubt, planting a seed and seeing how that grows. Let's see how it connects with the rest of the cards. So I've shuffled and pulled your tarot cards here, and I've also brought in some Love Oracle cards to bring an extra layer and more information for us as we look at this. So let's get to it with the first placement, which is the current energy of this connection and any lingering energies that may be affecting communication if you're in maybe no contact. or just distance, you know, intermittent contact, etc. That distance that you're feeling, that silence. Let's see what we have. Okay, so we've got the Six of Inspiration, which is interesting because inspiration is a card of victory, okay, a card of success. Which to me, what I'm hearing is that I feel like even though it may not feel it right now, but you are winning in some way in this situation, okay? Maybe you drew a boundary, okay? You drew a line in the sand about something. Maybe you were standing strong. You have kind of made a decision, and maybe you spoke out about something, and that's what brought through this no contact for some of you. Or maybe contact dwindled and you decided to distance yourself and withdraw your energy. And I feel like this is impacting your person, this is impacting the situation. This very much feels like your energy that is somehow elevated, okay? That you did something for yourself, you kind of fought back for your and defended yourself in some ways. Inspiration in the traditional deck is wands, okay? Ruled by the element of fire. So fighting energy with fire, being direct. If we think of this, almost reminds me, the Six of Inspiration in this deck, of a Queen of Wands energy. She's very determined, she's feisty, she's strong, she speaks her mind. So I think this plays into where you find yourself, and despite how circumstances may look, how they may feel, obviously we'll look to the rest of the cards and see what they tell us. But in this current energy, I'm hearing you're winning the war. You know, is this some kind of silent battle that's going on? Let's see what the Oracle card says. Sexuality. There again, very Queen of Wands energy. That is, you know, passion, driven. The Queen of Wands ruled by fire, you know, about magnetism, a strong attraction. Like you are, I feel like your person sees you like this, feels this about you, okay? And you've kind of took control of the situation, but there is a magnetism about you, and that will ultimately draw them back to you. And you making this stance and embodying this energy, I think was the right move. Let's move on to the second card, which looks at their intentions towards you, okay? This card will reveal their thoughts and feelings about reaching out and if they're considering it. Okay, Four of Voices. So yes, you are on their mind. Look how much romance is in. So even though it's Voices, which is thoughts, this is, whenever I see this card, it's always like that you are playing on their mind. So in periods of rest or even not, you know, when you have that feeling of that you can't get someone off your mind, you keep drifting back to that. And it's like a daydreaming romantic energy as well. We have rose petals. This water is pinks and purples. Two people, it's almost like this is your image appearing as they kind of drift away, thinking of you, thinking of the future, maybe thinking of the past, of good times. They've got a smile on their face that we see, so it's giving them good feelings. So this tells us for sure that they are thinking about you, which in turn tells us that this will, you know, it's like when you've got someone who's stuck on your mind, it's kind of ultimately you've kind of got to cave and give in to that in general and contact and reach out. But let's see what the Oracle card says. But that's what this says to me, okay? It's going to drive them kind of crazy in the end, and then if they're being stubborn, if this, let's say, some kind of battle of who will, if it feels like they're giving in or something, if they contact you and vice versa. But ultimately this kind of daydreaming, longing feeling actually will ultimately that they'll cave and reach out. The silver waterfall. Interesting. So when I read the meaning of this, the deeper meaning, obviously I intuitively read these as well. Can you see how there's water in both these cards as well? But it's that kind of dream state. The silver waterfall is about like a cleansing. I'm going to read directly from the book actually with this. So it says, stay balanced, healthy and happy by raising your own vibration. So it says, many people feel that they are always picking up on other people's negative energy and want to know how to protect themselves from the unpleasantness. They perceive the negativity to be out there and believe that if they could shield themselves from it, they would feel better. The truth is that we all carry negative and positive energies, and we all have times in our lives when we feel low. To feel truly lovable and abundant, you need to be able to engage with whoever and whatever comes to you without feeling like you need some form of defense. So this speaks to me again about them dropping that boundary ultimately, that there is that defense, that they feel like it would be weak or it would be some kind of letting you win if they were to reach out to you, which is interesting when actually, you know, this is so much deeper than that. That is not an issue. It's about being open and vulnerable and loving with each other. And I do see them, but that's the block for them, okay? So yes, they think of you. Yes, I do see them. We'll look to, this is future energies for clarity, but I do see them cracking on that. But this kind of talks again about that defense barrier that I can feel from them as well. And that's what's slowing this down. That's what I would say. That's what's affecting the timeline with this is, I suppose ultimately it's kind of ego based, isn't it? They want to reach out, they want to reconnect, but they feel like, am I being weak by doing that? Let's look at future energies, final card, okay, which is the likely outcome in the near future. This will provide us insight into whether they will take action soon and you can expect next, yeah? Okay, 9 of emotions, so there we go. It does lead on to emotional fulfillment, a wish come true. We have the genie bottle here, which always speaks to me. You know, we rub the genie bottle and we get to ask our 3 wishes. And this is wish fulfillment here. A similar kind of dreamy state energy. So I don't know if that's energy between you both. You know, there's kind of a blissful state that I feel like that you bring out in each other. This connection kind of possesses that kind of otherworldly, blissful state. But yeah, so they will shift from this 4 of voices of it being a thought, of it being into action, into 9 of emotions, a wish come true. Let's see what the oracle card says. Oh yeah, so we end on the beautiful note of love, which really, I'm hearing like love wins. That is actually, there is no war, there is no fight here, it's love and being with the person that we love, and there is love in this connection that actually wins out. And in this situation, again, it will win out. Again, a kind of otherworldly, dreamy quality to this connection. So there's a lot of powerful emotions in this union, which I see. But yeah, we do end there on wish fulfillment, and in this love will win the day. So, group number 2, I hope that reading resonated. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Leave any comments in the section down below, and please do consider subscribing if you haven't already, so you'll be notified for all future uploads. But wishing you all the best with you and your person and this connection. Love and light. Hey group number 3, welcome to your reading. So you chose the oracle card Fault Line. We touched on in the intro how this could mean for some of you that there's been a crack in the foundation of your connection. Now, this could be a tower moment as well. It kind of reminds me of that, echoes that. And we know that tower moments, or if you don't know, are that they clear out old energy. It's like a purge or a cleanse, and it realigns us and gets us back on track. It gives us a chance to rebuild. So with this person, with someone else, but let's see what the rest of the cards say. Okay, so I've shuffled and pulled the tarot cards. I've also brought in some love oracle cards to bring an extra layer and extra information through. But let's get into it and start with placement number 1 here with the tarot. And this is the current energy of the connection. Okay, this card looks at how things are right now between you both, and any lingering energies affecting communication. So from the past, kind of what's brought you to where you are now. The Two of Voices, okay? So one of you, both of you, being in your head. Two of Voices is being like literally at a crossroads, okay? Which makes sense, is very literal to this situation, in the sense of no contact, of what happens next. You know, there's a real crossroads here of if we can decide to walk away or we decide to move forward together and reconnect. You may have many doubts about what's the right move here. They may have them as well. Take what resonates to your situation, of what messages, intuitive messages you're getting from them, or anything that they've said to you and how you're feeling. But we see how here we've got a kind of scrambled head. This girl here, well, it's two girls, but this kind of mirrored effect here. She's scratching her head, like confused, literally confused, blindfolded here as well, not sure of the way forward. Now, when we see blindfold, it's in the tarot, the Spirit is nudging us to go deeper within, to tap into our intuition. Answers won't be found outside. So if you're sort of, sometimes when we're in these difficult love situations, we can look outside for answers, and the answers really are within. The tarot obviously can help us decipher those messages from within, I believe. But let's see what the Love Oracle card says as well. But kind of an angsty, stressy energy, a confused energy. We're at an impasse with a decision needs to be made to move forward. We'll look at the future cards, which will tell us, is that going to happen? What does the future hold? But right now, there's a messy energy happening, and there is an impasse of sorts about neither of you maybe know how to move forward with this, or what the right answer is. The Oracle card, Serendipity. So this talks to me about divine timing. That has a hand in this, and is influencing this. Maybe give yourself some, if you're pressuring yourself and fixating a lot on what is the next step, maybe surrendering it to the universe a bit more and taking a step back and taking a breather would be helpful, to kind of surrender it to the universe a little bit more, to allow this energy. Okay, it will shift. You can't be stuck in this forever. There will be a tipping point. There will be a tipping point. And trust that divine timing has a hand in this, so that tipping point will happen at exactly the right time. So maybe there's a bit more cooking to be done in this silence, in this impasse that you're in. Maybe, you know, this fault line has caused there's the crack here in this union. So there's someone who I listen to, Roxy Talks, who is fantastic about manifestation. She talks about how when we're in no contact and that distance, to see it actually as a good thing. Okay, this is reframe it. This is the best thing for the relationship if you're wanting to get back together. This is time to learn lessons, to mature, to emotionally grow, to be in a best place when we come back together. And that's what this card reminds me of. Let's move on to the second placement, which is their intentions towards you. So this card reveals their thoughts and feelings about reaching out. We have seen that they're confused. But what comes next, in a way? What are they considering? Let's go to a deeper level of this. Okay, so we have Two of Inspiration, which is a shift. It's a positive shift. It's a breakthrough. Can you see how this wall is that wall of confusion? It's that wall of impasse, of not being able to see the way forward, being blindfolded, or I see nothing. I honestly am coming up, you know, as a blank, you know, that expression, I'm coming up blank with any suggestions about what to do here. But here we have, this has been punctured with the Two of Inspiration. There was a breakthrough moment, and then we're able to look to the future and move forward in a more expansive energy. 2 twos, so the energy of you and them. I think there will be a breakthrough. This is the tipping point. This is them seeing a way forward. This is them being able to reimagine a future with you, or see a way through these issues that you've had, maybe this fault line. They can see a path around it. They could see a way maybe to rebuild this. It's like feeling inspired as well, because Two of Inspiration, so they feel inspired, they feel fired up. Inspiration is when it's our heart's desires, it's our passions. They get back, they shift out of their head and back into their heart. And then this causes movement, in positive movement in the situation for you and them. Let's see what the Oracle card says. Yeah, the garden there. So this is a very abundant card to me. The Garden of Eden. Isn't it? You're both there. Can you see there's 2 figures there? This is such a chilled energy, you know, from this such angst energy. Maybe this is what it feels like when it's good between you both in this garden. But it's abundant, it's prosperous. This is probably what they see and feel of where this breakthrough came from, I think, is that this kind of garden feeling that they imagine, or they remember a time maybe when it was like this, remember what was good about this connection, or they see this future with you, which is joyful, which is abundant, which is prosperous, which is blossoming. All of those good words that come to mind when I see this, the garden. You know, it's a place of safety. That's your connection to me. It's a place of safety. It's a place of warmth and security and peace. You know, you're just alone there together, just chilling, hanging out in nature. Not even, you know, just kind of doing your own thing as well, which is nice. You know, you can sit in silence with someone, and just, that's like an ultimate form of comfort, isn't it? Let's look to the final messages though. We're going to look to the future. Likely outcome in the near future. This card will provide us insight into whether they will take action soon and what you can expect next. So it might touch on timeline, the energy behind that. We do see a shift in their energy, and then reimagining your future and seeing a way forward. Okay, 9 of Voices. We have some anxieties and worries coming through. So once they've made this move, had this breakthrough, I almost feel like, yeah, they might have a little panic. Okay, maybe some old fears. There's 2 Voices. Some old fears might come up. So this is just being realistic about that. Now with the 9 of Voices comes the message that this is someone who is acting from a place of fear. And it's not actually, the worries and fears really are unfounded. Okay, it's not based on truth. It's not really based on reality to an extent, because when we get in this anxious state, we're actually being ruled and driven by fear. So when this energy comes about, there may be someone who is an overthinker. Nine of Voices being an air sign, they may have that strong in their chart, or we have seen that they're someone who can get in their head, and it's almost like that they've reached out to you and made contact, and then there is a bit of worry then that sets in about, it's almost like an in-out energy, that they see the future, they see the garden, and then they kind of freak out and they have worries and fears. What they need to do is ground their energy. So when we see Nine of Voices, it means that we have too much energy in our heads. We need to bring it down. They need to become more heart-centered with this fire energy. So whatever that means to them, you know, is that exercising, meditation, going for a long walk, going barefoot and standing in the garden, you know, that is scientifically proven to ground you. So whatever it takes, okay, they need to shift this energy out of their head. It's coming from a place of fear. It's not real. There's something about their character though now that's been revealed. Let's see what the final card, the Love Oracle. Ah, beautiful. Okay, so nonetheless, ultimately their commitment is to you, is to this union, this swan energy, lifetime partners, long-term longevity. Maybe that's partly why they get so in their head, okay? Because this is important, this is a big deal, okay? Soulmate energy. But what this tells me is that their commitment to you will win out even over this anxiety and fear, okay? So they will probably manifest this and express this. You may have to have some conversations about this with them. But ultimately their commitment is to you and is to this relationship. Okay? So remember that. Remember, it'll be hard on your side, okay, but because you'll have your own worries and fears maybe, but when someone's kind of in a very anxious state, it can be quite triggering. So try to remember this commitment energy when this is going on, and encourage them to ground themselves. So group number 3, I hope this reading resonated with you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up, leave any comments down below. And also consider subscribing if you haven't already, so that you'll be notified for all future readings if you did enjoy this reading. But wishing you all the best with you and your person. Love and light.